There's part of the I-52 story that I've never told on tape before. And I only do it now as a way to secure the story in case something happens to it, whether it's natural or unnatural. It basically started at the very first discovery of the documents, in 1990. I noticed that the loss of I-52 was missing, that there was a much stronger reaction from both the German and the Japanese. The reaction was almost as if something on the submarine was so important that the loss of the submarine maybe would lead to the loss of the entire war. Now, as far-fetched as it seems, you have to take into account that after reading these pages, these particular pages on I-52's loss, I had already gone through tens of thousands of documents on other losses of other submarines, both from Japan and Germany, and at the reaction of those losses. So I had something to compare to. It was a red flag for sure, but I didn't exactly know what the meaning was. I continued researching, always keeping in mind that there was something missing that wasn't being stated in the reports. I came across the outbound manifest of I-52, where there was a list of cargo that was waiting to be shipped on I-52 back to Japan. Now, that might not seem important, but you have to understand that I became an expert. There was a quid pro quo program. In other words, the Japanese were exchanging technologies with the German, and the word exchange is important. Sometimes it was an exchange of gold for technology as payment. Sometimes it was technology for another technology, or information, whether it's engineering drawings, whether with the V2, V3 rocket plans, the gyro technology, that kind of thing. How they stabilized the V2 rockets to hit England. Whatever it was, there was always a quid pro quo for these types of exchanges of technology. Now, having said that, I'm going to skip a little bit because it's so confidential. I'd rather not put it here now, but I will zoom forward until not long after 1995 on the first discovery of I-52. There was a small reunion where I lived in Northern Virginia with the other side of my family, the in-law side, and two people at the reunion worked for the National Security Agency. Well, wanting to share some of my research and photographs of I-52 with one of them, we went into my office, and sitting down on the couch, I remember, and I mentioned about, I had documents to show this person, who'll be nameless to protect him for now, about I-52, and when those words rolled off my lips, this NSA agent stood up and left the room. He went to join the reunion that was going on, and I thought at the time that it was rude of him not to say anything. He just got up and left, and that was it. I didn't want to pursue it. I mean, after all, it's my wife's side of the family, and you know how that goes. It's normal, you know, not to want to cause any friction or embarrassment to anybody. Anyway, several years later, one of the members of the family passed away, and we went to a funeral about 100 miles south of Washington, D.C., in Virginia. And after the funeral services, the same person who had abruptly stood up and left the room without saying anything about I-52 motioned for me to join him and to take a walk on the sidewalk away from any buildings, so we were in a complete secure area from anybody hearing any of us. Upon that, he first apologized for what appeared to be his rudeness in getting up to abruptly getting up to join the others, and he went on to say, he said that I-52 had classified material still at the National Security Agency, and he was forbidden under law to disclose or discuss anything with I-52 with me. He went on to say that there was a person I could contact to discuss it, and he handed me a piece of paper which on it was a name and contact information of a person at the National Security Agency. Now that pretty much rocked me, because now I knew that my hunches in the beginning of my research about how a severe loss I-52 was by comparison to other subs and submarines. And now this secrecy surrounding with the National Security Agency confirmed that I was onto something. With that information, which I can't disclose here at all, led me to have meetings with my attorney at the U.S. State Department in Washington, D.C. And there, behind closed doors, with a selected few people from the State Department, including one of their maritime attorneys representing them, we began to discuss that part of the project. The part I'm referring to is the NSA classified part, which has to remain classified right now. During that meeting and one that followed, but particularly this first one, the people at the State Department wanted to know pretty much what I knew, and I disclosed it. And they wanted to hand it off to one international agency, which I can't name, and to the Bureau of Intelligence, which is the Intelligence Bureau of the State Department. And I repeated the story with my wife's relative, and that particular person's name and a piece of paper I had been handed. And they in turn knew all about it already in advance. They disclosed to me that they had been discussing I-52 project in secrecy with the Japanese government ever since we had found it, which was news to me. So with that, they disclosed that they would prefer actually that I do disclose this information at some time in the future, that in fact it was an important part of history that probably has been untold up to this point. And with that, we came to an agreement that at my choosing, we would go ahead and get the NSA to declassify the material and get it to me, and we would work together on disclosing it in a form of my choice, which my choice would be either a book or a movie, something like that. But this is going to stand a lot of historians on their heels around the world, I'm sure. But it's no accident that I've met with some very notable people in the intelligence agencies that were serving during World War II who also knew this information. I have an interview with this particular person on video already, so it is an archived piece for this history.